Um, Within the last so I've been here 4 years now, and I've seen the population go from sort of 75 to 300 in that period of time. And if you look at sort of budgets that we play with now, those budgets are moving in that way as well, and people it is starting to take it up. I think the mind shift that needs to happen is the reach that you can get, right? So the biggest challenge I think it currently has is if you're going against the traditional media versus the internet, is that sort of perception of reach. And if you're a sort of a HUL, a PNG, you need to talk to a lot of people. But the reality is that the online space now, if I'm a bank, there's not only so many people I need to talk to, and the reality is they're all now digitally there. So what we're seeing is, depending on sort of product line, sort of business and service, those guys are taking it much more seriously, and budgets are starting to move. They're moving rapidly. And obviously you've got the pure play digital players like travel, e-com guys, and they're pretty much almost like a 70-80% digital sort of environment at the moment. But we're seeing, especially from our agency, we're seeing it is shifting. It is definitely starting to shift. And with the conversations that I get to have, so when I first came here, I'd speak to a sort of a mid-manager of digital. Now it's CEOs that I do in a much bigger way, and so the eye of the seniors is moved to digital, and it's starting to shift. And I think what the big thing is the numbers game. The fact is it's gone from 75 to 300 plus. All English speaking, you can pretty much do a broad brush and say all English speaking people are now digitally active. That balance, so you've got a 140 million balance, which is now completely native speaking, so it would be Hindi, it would be all the different languages that are going to happen. And that's the biggest thing that we're seeing. So I like the pitches that we now do, localized content, localized websites, localized sort of assets. And when that starts to really pick up, and that's the biggest challenge I think digital has at the moment, is the paucity of content for the new subscribers and the new people coming on. But when that actually really picks up and the eyeballs start happening and the ability to access people really kicks in, then the budgets are just simply going to rocket. But I think the biggest challenge at the moment is the fact that, okay, yes, we've seen the big mobile explosion, but the guys who are coming in and experiencing digital for the first time, the content is not there at this moment in time. But as that content builds and grows, the possible reach, the possible access, the possible sort of ability to get to that market will suddenly become a golden egg as such to the companies. And the fact that you've got the trackability, the data, and all of that behind it, and segmentation, it's just a matter of time now. It's a ticking time bomb, and I think the thing will just simply explode. But for me at the moment, it's that content drive. As brands start embracing content, as the content houses start putting out more and more regionalised, localised content, then that whole thing will just completely explode, and we'll see huge budgets coming out of TV and coming online. It's because the sheer efficacy of the medium, the fact that you can see where your money goes, you can see what you've achieved from the money, and you get that sense. Whereas in TV, you don't. It's TV print press, you don't really truly get that sense. It'll drive. I saw this in the UK. When I was there, I spent 10 years doing digital there. It took maybe 4 years for the thing to suddenly start snowballing, and then once it went, the money just poured straight in. The money just moved from one to the other. And it just takes one big brand to lead the way, and just suddenly get up and say, I'm moving 60% of my budget over there. The other brands the rest of it will collapse like a pack of cards, if you know what I mean, house of cards. The whole lot will go. So yeah, but it's moving, and I think this is the most exciting next 2 years for me. I think these next 2 years is where the actual inflection point will hit, and brands seriously take digital in a big way. But if you look at any sort of performance-led sort of company, they're already online and they're already spending good money.